Blessed Shabbat, brothers and sisters, Hebrews in Jamaica, the Caribbeans, the West, to the four corners of the earth scattered greetings. The Shabbat lesson, we're going to continue the series, Adam and Eve, right, brothers and sisters? We're going to pick it up at chapter 55, right, from the last books of the Bible, the forgotten book of Eden. Adam and Eve. First book of Adam and Eve, brothers and sisters, chapter 55. Right? A chapter of divine comfort. A chapter of divine comfort. Then came the word of Elohim to Adam, and said unto him, O Adam, look at that garden of joy, and at this earth of toil. And behold, the angels who are in the garden that is full of them, and see thyself alone on this earth with Hashatan, whom thou didst obey. Yet, if thou hadst submitted and have obedience and been obedient to me, and hadst kept my word, thou wouldst be with my angels in my garden. But when thou didst transgress and hearken to Hashatan, thou didst become his guest among his angels that are full of wickedness, and thou camest to this earth that brings forth to thee thorns and thistles. O Adam, ask him who deceived thee to give thee the divine nature he promised thee, or to make thee a garden as I had made for thee, or to fill thee with that same bright nature with which I had filled thee. Ask him to make thee a body like the one I made thee, or to give thee a day of rest as I gave thee, or to create within thee a reasonable soul as I did create for thee, or to remove thee hence to some other earth than this one which I gave thee. But, O Adam, he will not fulfill even one of the things he told thee. Acknowledge then my favor towards thee, and my mercy on thee, my creature, that I have not requited thee for thy transgression against me. But in my pity for thee I have promised thee that at the end of the great 5 days and a half I will come and save thee. Then Elohim said again to Adam and Eve, Arise and go down hence, lest the cherub with a sword of fire in his hand destroy you. But Adam's heart was comforted by Elohim's word to him, and he worshipped before him. And Elohim commanded his angels to escort Adam and Eve to the cave with joy instead of the fear that had come upon them. Then the angels took up Adam and Eve and brought them down from the mountain by the garden with songs and psalms until they brought them to the cave. There the angels began to comfort and to strengthen them, and then departed from them towards heaven to their Creator who had sent them. But after the angels were gone from Adam and Eve, came Satan with shamefacedness and stood at the entrance of the cave in which were Adam and Eve. He then called to Adam and said, O Adam, come, let me speak to thee. Then Adam came out of the cave, thinking he was one of the Elohim's angels that was come to give him some good counsel. Chapter 56. Therefore did I fall. But when Adam came out and saw his hideous figure, he was afraid of him, and said unto him, Who art thou? Then Hashatan answered and said unto him, It is I who hid myself within the serpent, and who talked to Eve, and beguiled her until she hearkened to my command. I am he. who sent her through the wiles of my speech to deceive thee, until thou and she ate of the fruit of the tree, and ye came away from under the command of Eliakim. And when Adam heard these words from him, he said unto him, Canst thou make me a garden, as Eliakim made for me? Or canst thou clothe me in the same bright nature in which Eliakim had clothed me? Where is the divine nature thou didst promise to give me? Where is that? Where in the garden? Then Hashatan said unto Adam, Thinkest thou that when I have spoken to one about anything, I shall ever bring it to him or fulfill my word? Not so, for I myself have never even thought of obtaining what I ask. So you see, brothers and sisters, so Satan trick you into do things that he himself would not do, right? All because he wants you, Sitneke Yashrael, to turn your back against the Most High Yahuwah and his whole son Yahushua Mashiach and his laws, commandments, and statutes. And he's successful so far. You understand? Because you allow it to. You want it to be so. You make the commandments of the Most High burdensome, which is not at all burdensome. The laws of this wicked land and this world system is oppressive. That's oppression. The laws of this land do not give you peace. It don't even secure you. Yet still, you will follow those laws to the T. But when it comes to laws, commandments, and statutes, you find every fault not to live a righteous and upright and just life, free of sin and wickedness, brothers and sisters. Let's go over it again, right? Let's go over it again, brothers and sisters. Okay, we're going to take it back at verse 4. Where is the divine nature thou didst promise to give me? So brothers and sisters, at this time, our father Adam is asking Hashatan the question the Most High asked Adam to ask him, right? He says, Where is the divine nature thou didst promise to give me? Where is our fair speech of thine thou didst hold with us at first, and we were in the garden? When we were in the garden, then Hashatan said unto Adam, Thinkest thou that when I have spoken to one about anything, I shall ever bring it to him or fulfill my word? Not so, for I myself have never thought of obtaining what I asked. Therefore did I fall, and did I make you fall by that for which I myself fell. And with you also, whosoever accept my counsel falls thereby. So you see, brothers and sisters, the very Hashatan you worship, right? That you worship and you choose over the most, or you stiff-necked so-called black people, Hebrew children of Yashua, descendants of Hebrew slave, continue to hearken to Hashatan. You Adam and you Eve. You Eve keep listening and hearkening to Hashatan, believing the lies of this wicked world and world system and social media and the hype. You will fall with him because he's telling you right here. He don't believe nothing that he said. He said what he said, for I myself have never even thought of obtaining what I asked. Therefore did I fall. You understand? Therefore did I fall. And did I make you fall Therefore did I fall, and did I make you fall by that for which I myself fell, and with you also, whosoever accept my counsel fall thereby. You see that? So anybody who follow Hashatan and his wickedness will fall the same way how he fell, right? But now, O Adam, by reason of thy fall thou art under my rule, and I am king over thee, because thou hast hearkened to me and hast transgressed against thy Elohim. Neither will there be any deliverance from my hands until the day promised thee by thy Elohim. Again he said, inasmuch as we do not know the day agreed upon with thee by thy Elohim, nor the hour in which thou shalt be delivered, for that reason we will multiply war and murder upon thee and thy seed after thee. This is our will and our good pleasure, that we may not leave one of the sons of men to inherit our orders in heaven. Because see, that's the whole reason the Hashatan come against the seed, the righteous seed of the Most High, right? Yashrael. That's the seed. That's the reason, because he does not want you to inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Because Hashatan know he will never ever enter back in the presence of the Most High. So because of that anger, that burn, and that hatred towards Yashrael and their descendants, Adam and his descendants, this war is increased upon us. Do you understand? Through the world system, through their laws, through their oppression, through their wickedness, against the seed of the Most High, against his people, which is Yasrael, his firstborn, brothers and sisters. Do you understand? Right? So this war is real. All this fleshly war, this spirit against the flesh, is to cause you not to go back in the presence of the Most High. You understand? So you got to understand, you got to be wise of the device of the devil, brothers and sisters. Be not ignorant of it. Because it's the whole purpose. Because Hashatan, who you worship, knows heaven is real. Know Elohim is real. The Elohim of Yasharel, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, the Elohim of Jacob. You understand? He knows he's real. His name is Yahuwah, and his holy son Yahusha. Whomever he hears that name, he trembles. He knows, brothers and sisters, these things are real. But he convinces you that it is not, and are very convincing, the convincing tactic that cause you to fall just as he fell from heaven. And you're going to continue to fall right into hell with eternal flames, along with Hashatan, your father, whom you choose, your God, whom you choose over the living Elohim of Yashrael. Right? Verse 10, for as to our abode, O Adam, it is in the burning fire, and we will not cease over evil doing, no, not one day, nor 1 hour. So you see, he's telling you, right? He's telling you, and I, O Adam, shall sow fire upon thee when thou comest into the cave to dwell there. When Adam heard these words, he wept and mourned, and said unto Eve, hear what he said, that he will not fulfill aught of what he told thee in the garden. Did he really then become king over us? But we will ask Elohim, who created us, to deliver us out of his hands. Chapter 50. We are at chapter 58, brothers and sisters. About sunset on the 53rd day. So the 53rd day mark when they came out of the garden, when the Most High expelled them from the garden. So 53 days passed since they came out of the garden, brothers and sisters. So it's over a month and some change, right? Then Adam and Eve spread their hands unto Elohim, praying and threatening him to drive Hashatan away from them, that he do them no violence, and do not force them to or deny Elohim. Then Elohim sent to them and at once his angel, who drove away Hashatan from them. This happened about sunset on the 53rd day after they had come out of the garden. Then Adam and Eve went into the cave and stood up and turned their faces to the earth to pray to Elohim. But ere they prayed, Adam said unto Eve, lo, thou hast seen what temptations have befallen us in this land. Come, let us arise and ask Elohim to forgive us the sins we have committed, and we will not come out until the end of the day next to the 40th. And if we die herein, he will save us. Then Adam and Eve arose and joined together in entreating Elohim. They are both thus praying in the cave, neither did they come out of it by night or by day until their prayers went up out of their mouth like a flame of fire. Chapter 59. Eighth apparition of Hashatan to Adam and Eve. But Hashatan, the hater of all good, did not allow them to end their prayers, for he called to his hosts, and they came all of them. He then said to them, Since Adam and Eve, whom we beguiled, have agreed together to pray to Elohim night and day, and to entreat him to deliver them, and since they will not come out of the cave until the end of the 40th day, and since they will continue their prayers as they have both agreed to do, that he will deliver them out of our hands and restore them to their former state. You see, brothers and sisters, how powerful when the black man and woman come together in unity in the Most High and deal with the Most High Yahuwah in prayer, in supplication, in want of everything. You see that? You know, they did not come in religion, because our forefather never was given religion from the beginning of time. Right? From the beginning of time, brothers, there was no religion. There was no such thing as Christianity, Islam, Baptist that. There was no such thing like that. The pure religion of our ancestors, our forefathers, is the worship, the true worship of the Most High. The Most High said, you know what I mean? The Most High said, Elohim is a spirit. Or the scripture says, Elohim is a spirit. And they that worship him must worship him in what? Spirit and in truth. So the true worship is worshiping in purity, in spirit and in truth, brothers and sisters, in which he taught us how to worship him and how to pray to him. You see. So fast forward today, we have lost everything because the Most High sent us in slavery because of our forefather disobedience and our continued disobedience through the first Arab slave trade and then the transatlantic slave trade, brothers and sisters. You understand? We need to come back to this, to this union, right? And put back the Most High Yahuwah and his husband Yahushua into your lives and his commandment, because that's the true healing, brothers and sisters. That's the true therapy. You understand? Right? Let's go over it again, verse 2, right? And since they will continue their prayers as they have both agreed to, right? That he will deliver them out of our hands and restore them to their former state. See what we shall do unto them. And his hosts said unto him, Power is thine, O our Adonai, to do what thou listest. Then Hashatan, great in wickedness, took his hosts and came into the cave in the 30th night of the 40th day, in the 40th days and one, and he smote Adam and Eve until he left them dead. Then came the word of Elohim unto Adam and said, Who raised them from their suffering? And Elohim said unto Adam, Be strong and be not afraid of him who has just come to thee. But Adam wept and said, Where wast thou, O my Elohim, that they should smite me with such a blow, and that this suffering should come upon us, upon me, and upon Eve, thy handmaid? Then Elohim said unto him, O Adam, see, he is Adonai and master of all thou hast, he who said he would give thee divinity. Right? Where is this love for thee? And where is the gift he promised? Right? So the Most High like to remind you, because the Most High know humans have a tendency of blaming him for what's going on in this world, when humans well, especially our people, Steve like Yasharel, forget that he gave you his laws before any of this wickedness come into the world. He give you verbal commands. Then later on in the Mount Sinai desert, he gave us a written law. But he always give you a commandment before the judgment. And yet still, when the judgment comes, you still blame the Most High. But you forget that the Most High gave you an order. I gave you a law. He gave you statutes. He gave you instruction. He gave you order. And you refuse to obey his order. So therefore, once you come from under the cover, which is the law, which is the Mashiach Yahusha, then judgment will appear unto you. Right? Right, brothers and sisters? Let's go over it again. Then Hashatan said again, I did not know how it is ye are in this cave, nor anything. Verse 7. For once has it pleased him, O Adam, to come to thee, to comfort thee, and to strengthen thee, and to rejoice with thee, and to send his hosts to guard thee, because thou hast hearkened to him, and hast yielded to his counsel, and hast transgressed my commandment, but has followed his behest. Then Adam wept before Yahuwah, and said unto Yahuwah, because I transgressed a little, thou hast sorely plagued me in return for it. I ask thee to deliver me out of his hands, or else have pity on me, and take my soul out of my body now in this strange land. Then Elohim said unto Adam, if only there had been this sign and praying before thou didst transgress, then wouldest thou have rest from the trouble in which thou art now. But Elohim had patience with Adam, and let him and Eve remain in the cave until they had fulfilled the 40 days. But as to Adam and Eve, their strength and flesh withered from fasting and praying, from hunger and thirst, for they had not tasted neither food or drink since they left the garden, nor were the functions of their bodies yet settled, and they had no strength left to continue in prayer from hunger until the end of the next day of the 40th. They were fallen down in the cave, yet what speech escaped from their mouth was only in praises. Right? Okay, brothers and sisters, we are chapter 60. The devil appears like an old man. He offers a place of rest. Then on the 89th day, Hashatan came to the cave, clad in a garment of light, and girt about with a bright girdle. In his hands was a staff of light, and he looked most awful, but his face was pleasant, and his speech was sweet. He thus transformed himself in order to deceive Adam and Eve, and to make them come out of the cave ere they had fulfilled the 40 days. For he said within himself, now that when they had fulfilled the 40 days fasting and praying, Elohim will restore them to their former estate. But if he did not do so, he would still be favorable to them, and even if he had not mercy on them, would he yet give them something from the garden to comfort them, as already twice before. Then Hashatan drew near the cave in this fair appearance, and said, O Adam, raise ye, stand up, thou and Eve, and come along with me to a good land, and fear not. I am flesh and bones like you, and at first I was a creature that Elohim created. And it was so that when he had created me, he placed me in a garden in the north, on the border of the world. And he said to me, abide here, and I abode there according to his word, neither did I transgress his commandment. Then he made a slumber to come over me, and he brought thee, O Adam, out of my sight, but did not make thee abide by me. But Elohim took thee in his divine hand, and placed thee in a garden to the eastward. Then I grieve because of thee, for that while Eliakim had taken thee out of my sight, he had not let thee abide with me. But Eliakim said unto me, Grieve not because of Adam, whom I brought out of thy sight, no harm will come to him. So you see how big guile and trickery and slick Hashatan is, right? He turned the Most High works into a lie and fed that lie to Adam, so he might fall yet again, right? For now I have brought out of his side a helpmeet for him, and I have given him joy by so doing. Then Hashatan said again, I did not know how it is ye are in this cave, nor anything about this trial that has come upon you, until Elohim said to me, Behold, Adam has transgressed, he whom I had taken out of thy side, and Eve also, whom I took out of his side. So you see how Hashatan turn things upside down, right? Right for wrong, wrong for right, right? And it's the same spirit that hovers over this wicked world system and world leaders today, brothers and sisters. And those people who follow and hearken to Hashatan, they're living an upside down life, brothers and sisters. They're doing wrong for good and good for wrong. Babylon means confusion. Babel, the word Babel, right, means confusion. Tower of confusion, that's where you get the word Babylon from the word Babel. Babylon, Babel, confusion, brothers and sisters. Right? And I have driven them out of the garden. I have made them dwell in a land of sorrow and misery, because they transgress against me, and have hearkened to Hashatan, and lo, they were in suffering unto this day, the 80th. Then Elohim said unto me, Arise, go to them, and make them come to thy place, and suffer not that Hashatan come near them and afflict them, for they are now in great misery and lie helpless from hunger. He further said to me, When thou hast taken them to thyself, give them to eat of the fruit of the tree of life, and give them to drink of the water of peace, and clothe them in a garment, of light, and restore them to their former state of grace, and have them not in misery. For they came from thee, but grieve not over them, nor repent of that which has come upon them. But when I heard this, I was sorry, and my heart could not patiently bear it for thy sake, O my child. But, O Adam, when I heard the name of Hashatan, I was afraid, and I said within myself, I will not come out, lest he ensnare me as he did my children Adam and Eve. And I said, O Eliakim, when I go to my children, Hashatan will meet me in the way and war against me as he did against them. Then Eliakim said unto me, Fear not. When thou findest him, smite him with the staff that is in thine hand, and be not afraid of him. For thou art of old standing, and he shall not prevail against thee. Then I said, O my Yahuwah, I am old and cannot go. Send thy angels to bring them. But Eliakim said unto me, Angels verily are not like them, and they will not consent to come with them. But I have chosen thee, because they are thy offspring, and like thee, and will hearken to what thou sayest. Eliakim said further to me, If thou hast not strength to walk, I will send a cloud to carry thee, and alight thee at the entrance of their cave. And then the cloud will return and leave thee there. And if they will come with thee, I will send a cloud to carry thee, and then he commanded a cloud, and it bare me up and brought me to you, and then went back. And now, O my children, Adam and Eve, look at my hoar hairs and my feeble estate, and my coming from that distant place. Come with me to a place of rest. He's so smooth and sweet and beguile his word is, brothers and sisters. So you have to be careful of the devices of the devil. Then he began to weep and to sob before Adam and Eve, and his tears poured upon the earth like water, And when Adam and Eve raised their eyes and saw his beard and heard his sweet talk, their hearts softened towards him. They hearkened unto him, for they believed he was true. And it seemed to them that they really were his offspring when they saw that his face was like their own, and they trusted him. Okay, brothers and sisters, we are chapter 61. They begin to follow Hashatan. Then he took Adam and Eve by the hand and began to bring them out of the cave. But when they were come a little way out of it, Elohim knew that Hashatan had overcome them and had brought them out ere the 40 days were ended, to take them to some distant place and to destroy them. Then the word of Yahuwah Elohim again came and cursed Hashatan and drove him away from them. And Elohim began to speak unto Adam and Eve, saying to them, What made you come out of the cave unto this place? Then Adam said unto Elohim, Didst thou create a man before us? For when we were in the cave, there suddenly came unto us a good old man, who said to us, I am a messenger from Elohim unto you, to bring you back to some place of rest. And we did believe, O Elohim, that he was a messenger from thee, and we came out with him, and knew not whither we should go with him. Then Elohim said unto Adam, See, that is the father of evil arts, who brought thee and Eve out of the garden of delights. And now indeed, when he saw that thou and Eve both joined together in fasting and praying, that you came not out of the cave before the end of the 40 days, he wished to make your purpose vain, to break your mutual bond, to cut off all hope from you, and to drive you to some place where he might destroy you, because he was unable to do aught to you unless he showed himself in the likeness of you. Therefore did he came to you with a face like your own, and began to give you tokens as if they were all true. But I, in mercy and with the favor I had unto thee, did not allow him to destroy you, but I drove him away from you. Now, therefore, O Adam, take Eve and return to your cave and remain in it until the morrow of the 40th day. And when he come out, go towards the eastern gate of the garden. Then Adam and Eve worshipped Elohim and praised and blessed him for the deliverance that had come to them from him. And they returned towards the cave. This happened at eventide at the 39th day. Then Adam and Eve stood up and with great zeal prayed to Elohim to be brought out of their want for strength, for their strength had departed from them through hunger and thirst and prayer. But they watched the whole of that night, praying until morning. Then Adam said unto Eve, Arise, let us go towards the eastern gate of the garden, as Elohim told us. And they said their prayers as they were wont to do every day, and they went out of the cave to go near to the eastern gate of the garden. Then Adam and Eve stood up and prayed, and besought Elohim to strengthen them and to send them something to satisfy their hunger. But when they had ended their prayers, they remained where they were by reason of their failing strength. Then came the word of Elohim again and said unto them, O Adam, arise, go and bring hither 2 figs. Then Adam and Eve arose and went until they drew near to the cave. Chapter 62. 2 fruit trees. But Hashatan the wicked was envious because of the consolation Elohim had gave them. So he prevented them and went into the cave and took the 2 figs and buried them outside of the cave, so that Adam and Eve should not find them. He also had in his thoughts to destroy them, but by Elohim's mercy, as soon as those 2 fig trees were in the earth, Elohim defeated Hashatan's counsel regarding them and made them into 2 fruit trees that overshadowed the cave, for Hashatan had buried them on the eastern side of it. Then when the two trees were grown and were covered with fruit, Shatan grieved and mourned and said, better were it to have left those figs as they were. For now, behold, they have become two fruit trees, whereof Adam will eat all the days of his life. You see, brothers and sisters, how marvelous the Most High is, and how patient and full of mercy he has for our forefather Adam and for Mother Eve. He can have the same mercy and grace towards you, stiff-necked Yashrael, if only you will come back to him through his whole son Yahushua, HaMashiach, and keep these laws, commandments, and statutes. Right? Whereas I had in mind when I buried them to destroy them entirely and to hide them for a. But Eliakim has overturned my counsel and would not that this sacred food should perish. And he has made plain my counsel I had formed against his servant. Then Hashatan went away ashamed of not having wrought out his design. Right, brothers and sisters? Chapter 60. Okay, brothers and sisters, we are chapter 63. The first joy of trees. But Adam and Eve, as they drew near to the cave, saw two fig trees covered with fruit and overshadowing the cave. Then Adam said to Eve, it seems to me we have gone astray. When did these two trees grow here? It seems to me that the enemy wishes to lead us astray. Sayest thou that there is in the earth another cave than this? Yet, O Eve, let us go into the cave and find in it the two figs. For this is our cave in which we were. But if we should not find the two figs in it, then it cannot be our cave. They went then into the cave and looked into the four corners of it, but found not the two figs. And Adam wept and said to Eve, are we come to a wrong cave then, O Eve? It seems to me these two fig trees are the two figs that were in the cave. And Eve said, I, for my part, do not know. Then Adam stood up and prayed and said, O Eliakim, thou didst command us to come back to the cave, to take the two figs, and then to return to thee. You see, throughout all this temptation and misery, Hashatan brought upon our forefather Adam and foremother Eve. What is the one ingredient between these struggles, brothers and sisters, that our forefather Adam did? Right? He always pray to the Most High when he is in doubt. That's the main ingredient, prayer. Right? Adam and his wife Eve, whenever they are unsure of a thing or a matter, they go to the Most High in prayer. We need to come back in prayer, descendants of Hebrew slaves. We need to come back in prayer in Yahushua, HaMashiach's name, to his Father Yahuwah, who is a respecter of none. Prayer is healing, brothers and sisters. Faith without work is dead. You cannot have faith without works. Right? You got to put works in there. What is the works? Studying his words, applying his word in your life, and keeping his laws, commandments, and statutes, and warn the people of the pending judgment coming upon the rebellious and stiff-neckedness and the lawbreakers in and among Yasharel and on earth, brothers and sisters. Right? Chapter 6. Then Adam stood up and prayed and said, O Eliakim, thou didst command us to come back to the cave and to take the two figs and then to return to thee. But now, We have not found them, O Eliakim. Hast thou taken them and sown these 2 trees? Or have we gone astray in the earth? Or has the enemy deceived us? If it be real, then, O Eliakim, reveal to us the secret of these 2 trees and of the 2 figs. Then came the word of Eliakim to Adam and said unto him, O Adam, when I sent thee to fetch the figs, Hashatan went before thee to the cave, took the figs, and buried them outside, eastward of the cave, thinking to destroy thee, and not sowing them with good intent, not for his mere sake. Then have these trees grown up at once. But I had mercy on thee, and I commanded them to grow, and they grew to be 2 large trees, that you be overshadowed by their branches, and find rest, and that I make you see my power and my marvelous works, and also to show you Hashatan meanness and his evil works, for ever since he came out of the garden he has not ceased, no, not one day, from doing you some harm, but I have not given him power over you. Right? And Elohim said, henceforth, O Adam, rejoice on account of the trees, thou and Eve, and rest under them when ye feel weary, but eat not of their fruit, nor come near them. Then Adam wept and said, O Elohim, wilt thou again kill us, or wilt thou drive us away from before thy face, and cut our life from out of the face of the earth? O Elohim, I beseech thee, if thou knowest that there be in these trees either death or some other evil, as at the first time, root them up from near our cave, and wither them, and leave us to die of the heat, of hunger, and of thirst. For we know thy marvelous works, O Elohim, that they are great, and that by thy power thou canst bring one thing out of another without one's wish. For thy power can make rocks to become trees, and trees to become rocks. Right? Chapter 64. Adam and Eve partake of the first earthly food. Then Elohim looked upon Adam and Eve. Then Elohim looked upon Adam, and upon his strength of mind, and upon his endurance of hunger and thirst, and of the heat. And he changed the 2 fig trees into 2 figs, as they were at first, and then said to Adam and to Eve, each of you may take 1 fig. And they took them as Yahuwah commanded them. And he said to them, go ye into the cave, and eat the figs, and satisfy your hunger, lest ye die. So as Elohim commanded them, they went into the cave about the time when the sun was setting. And Adam and Eve stood up and prayed at the time of the setting sun. Then they sat down to eat the figs, but they knew not how to eat them, for they were not accustomed to eat earthly food. They feared also lest if they ate, their stomach should be burdened, and their flesh thickened, and their hearts take to liking earthly food. But while they were thus seated, Elohim, out of pity for them, sent them his angel, lest they should perish of hunger and thirst. And the angel said unto Adam and Eve, Elohim says to you that ye have not strength to fast until death. Eat therefore and strengthen your bodies, for ye are now animal flesh, that cannot subsist without food and drink. Then Adam and Eve took the fig and began to eat of them, but Elohim had put into them a mixture as of savour, bread, and blood. Then the angel went from Adam and Eve, who ate of the figs until they had satisfied their hunger. Then they put by what remained, but by the power of Elohim the figs became full as before, because Elohim blessed them. After this, Adam and Eve arose and prayed with a joyful heart and renewed strength, and praised and rejoiced abundantly the whole of that night. And this was the end of the 83rd day. Right? Chapter 64, brothers and sisters. No, I'm sorry, brothers and sisters. Chapter 65. Chapter 65. Adam and Eve acquire digestive organs. Final hope of returning to the garden is quenched. And when it was day, they arose and prayed after their custom, and then went out of the cave. But as they felt great trouble from the food they had eaten, and to which they were not used, they went about in the cave, saying to each other, What has happened to us through eating, that this pain should have come upon us? Woe be to us, and we shall die. Better for us to have died than to have eaten and to have kept our bodies pure, than to have defiled them with food. Then Adam said to Eve, This pain did not come to us in the garden, neither did we eat such bad food there. Thinkest thou, O Eve, that Elohim will plague us through the food that is in us, or that our inwards will come out, or that Elohim means to kill us with this pain before he has fulfilled his promise to us? Then Adam besought Yahuwah and said, O Yahuwah, let us not perish through the food we have eaten. O Yahuwah, smite us not, but deal with us according to thy great mercy, and forsake us not until the day of thy promise thou hast made us. Then Eliakim looked upon them and at once fitted them for eating food, as unto this day, so that they should not perish. Then Adam and Eve came back into the cave, sorrowful and weeping because of the alterations in their nature, and they both knew from that hour that they were altered beings, that their hope of returning to the garden was now cut off, and that they would not enter it, for that now their bodies had strange function, and all flesh that require food and drink for its existence cannot be in the garden. Then Adam said to Eve, Behold, our hope is now cut off, and is our trust to enter the garden. We no longer belong to the inhabitants of the garden, but henceforth we are earthly, and of the dust, and of the inhabitants of the earth. We shall not return to the garden until the day in which Elohim has promised to save us, and to bring us again into the garden as he promised us. Then they prayed to Elohim that he would have mercy on them, after which their mind was quieted, their hearts were broken, and their longing was cooled down, and they were like strangers on earth. That night Adam and Eve spent in the cave, where they slept heavily by reason of the food they had eaten. Right? Chapter 66, brothers and sisters. Adam does his first day's work. When it was morning, the day after they had eaten food, Adam and Eve prayed in the cave, and Adam said unto Eve, Lo, we asked for food of Elohim, and he gave it. But now let us also ask him to give us a drink of water. Then they arose and went to the bank of the stream of the water that was on the south border of the garden, in which they had before thrown themselves. And they stood on the bank and prayed to Elohim that he would command them to drink of the water. Then the word of Elohim came to Adam and said unto him, O Adam, thy body is become brutish and requires water to drink. Take heed and drink thou and Eve. Give thanks and praise. And Adam and Eve then drew near and drank of it until their bodies felt refreshed. After having drunk, they praised Elohim and then returned to their cave after their former custom. This happened at the end of 83 days. Then on the 84th Then on the 84th day they took 2 figs and hung them in the cave together with the leaves thereof, to be on them a sign and a blessing from Elohim. And they placed them there until they should arise, and posterity to them, and poster, posterity to them, who should see the wonderful thing Elohim had done to them. Then Adam and Eve again stood outside the cave and besought Elohim to show them some food wherewith to nourish their bodies. Then the word of Elohim came and said unto him, O Adam, go down to the westward of the cave as far as a land of a dark soil, and there thou shalt find food. And Adam hearkened unto the word of Elohim, took Eve, and went down to a land of dark soil, and found there wheat growing in the air, and ripe, and figs to eat, and Adam rejoiced over it. Then the word of Elohim came again to Adam and said unto him, take of this wheat, and make 3 bread of it, to nourish thy body withal. And Elohim gave Adam's heart wisdom to work out the corn until it became bread. Adam accomplished all that until he grew very faint and weary. He then returned to the cave, rejoicing at what he had learned of what is done with wheat, until it is made into bread of one's use. Right? Chapter 67. Then Hashatan began to lead astray Adam and Eve. But when Adam and Eve went down to the land of the black mud, and came near to the wheat Elohim had shown them, and saw it ripe and ready for reaping, as they had no sickle to reap it withal, they girt themselves and began to pull up the wheat until it was all done. Then they made it into a heap, and faint from the heat and from thirst. They went under a shady tree, where the breeze fanned them to sleep, or where the breeze fanned them to sleep. But Hashatan saw what Adam and Eve had done, and he called his hosts and said to them, since Elohim has shown to Adam and Eve all about this wheat, wherewith to strengthen their bodies, and lo, they are come and have made a heap of it, and faint from the toil, are now asleep. Come, let us set fire to this heap of corn, and burn it, and let us take that bottle of water that is by them, and empty it out, so that they may find nothing to drink, and we kill them with hunger and thirst. Then, when they wake up from their sleep and seek to return to the cave, we will come to them in the way, and will lead them astray, so that they die of hunger and thirst, when they may perhaps deny Elohim, and he destroy them, so shall we be rid of them. Then Hashatan and his hosts drew fire upon the wheat and consumed it. But from the heat of the flame Adam and Eve awoke from their sleep, and saw the wheat burning, and a bucket of water by them poured out. Then they wept and went back to the cave. But as they were going up from below the mountain where they were, Hashatan and his hosts met them in the form of angels, praising Elohim. Then Hashatan said to Adam, O Adam, why art thou so pained with hunger and thirst? It seems to me that Hashatan has burned up the wheat. And Adam said to him, Aye. Again Hashatan said to Adam, come back with us, we are angels of Elohim. Elohim sent us to thee, to show thee another field of corn better than that, and that beyond it is a fountain of good water, and many trees, where thou shalt dwell near it, and work the cornfield to better purpose than that which Hashatan has consumed. Adam thought that he was true, and that they were angels who talked with him, and he went back with them. Then Hashatan began to lead astray Adam and Eve 8 days, until they both fell down as if dead from hunger and thirst and faintness. Then he fled with his hosts and left them. Right? Chapter 68. how destruction and trouble is of Hashatan when he is the master. Adam and Eve established the custom of worship. Then Elohim looked upon Adam and Eve and upon what had come upon them from Hashatan, and how he had made them perish. Elohim therefore sent his word and raised up Adam and Eve from their state of death. Then Adam, when he was raised, said, O Elohim, thou hast burned and taken from us the corn thou hadst given us, and thou hast emptied out the bucket of water, and thou hast sent thy angel, who have waylaid us from the cornfield. Wilt thou make us perish? If this be from thee, O Elohim, then take away our souls, but punish us not. Then Elohim said to Adam, I did not burn down the weed, and I did not pour the water out of the bucket, and I did not send my angel to lead thee astray. But it is Hashatan, thy master, who did it, he to whom thou hast subjected thyself. My commandment being meanwhile set aside, he it is who burned down the corn and poured out the water, and who has led thee astray, and all the promise he has made you verily are but feign and deceit and lies. So you see, brothers and sisters, you have to understand. The Most High could have eliminated all of this. You understand? But it's a lesson here to be learned, brothers and sisters. Because had the Most High did all of this, Adam, our forefather, and Eve, our foremother, would not understand why and who is causing and doing all this misery. You understand? Through the wickedness of his work, Hashatan exposes himself of who he really is. It's the same situation in this time, right? The wicked doing their wickedness, exposing themselves for who they are. You understand? They are angels of Satan, working the work of Hashatan, the same way how Hashatan was working the works in the beginning of time. It's the same spirit today, brothers and sisters. Nothing changes. That's why King Solomon said there is nothing new under the sun. All that is happening now happened then in our forefathers' time, brothers and sisters. As in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. And we all know what happened in the days of Noah, right? Homosexuality, right? Lesbianism, right? Fallen agent having sex with human women, bringing forth giants, offspring of evil spirits of giants. You know what I'm saying? Cannibalism. All that was to be destroyed, brothers and sisters. The whole entire flesh was corrupted with fallen angels mating with children. The daughters of the earth, brothers and sisters. You understand? Verse 6. But now, O Adam, thou shalt acknowledge my good deeds done to thee. And Elohim told his angels to take Adam and Eve and to bear them up into the field of wheat which they found as before. There they saw a tree and found on it solid manna, and wondered at Elohim's power. And the angels commanded them to eat of the manna when they were hungry. Right? Okay, brothers and sisters. So what is manna? Right? What is manna? Manna is a Hebrew word, right? Sometimes of archaically spelled manna, M-A-N-A, is, according to the Bible, an edible substance which Elohim provided for the Yasharites during their travels in the desert during the 40-year period following the Exodus and prior to the conquest of Canaan. It is also, so, manna, Hebrew, sometimes, or archaically spelled manna, M-A-N-A, is, according to the Bible, an edible substance which Elohim provided for the Yasharites during their travels in the desert during the 40-year period following the Exodus and prior to the conquest of Canaan, brothers and sisters. Right? Right, brothers and sisters? Okay, brothers and sisters. So if you look at the screen, right, you will see an image of manna, right? Of what manna look like, right? If you continue looking at the screen, you see another image, right, brothers and sisters? So what did manna look like, right? Manna is described as having the appearance of bdelum, bdelum, right? Hoarfrost on grass lawn. Manna is described as white and comparable to hoarfrost in color. According to the book of Exodus, manna is like a coriander seed in size, but which is white. This explains why ancient commentary has a comparison to the round shape of the coriander seed, brothers and sisters. So now you have a image, a brief description of what manna is, right? Right, brothers and sisters. So let's go over chapter 7, verse 7 actually. And God told his angels to take Adam and Eve. And Elohim told his angels to take Adam and Eve and to bear them up to the field of wheat which they found as before with the bucket full of water. There they saw a tree and found on it solid manna, and wondered at Elohim's power. And the angels commanded them to eat of the manna when they were hungry. And Elohim adjured Hashatan with a curse not to come again and destroy the field of corn. Then Adam and Eve took of the corn and made of it an offering, and took it and offered it up on the mountain, the place where they had offered up their first offering of blood. And then offered this oblation again on the altar they had built at first. And they stood up and prayed and besought Yahuwah, saying, Thus, O Elohim, when we were in the garden, did our praise go up to thee like this offering, and our innocence went up to thee like incense. But now, O Elohim, accept this offering from us, and turn us not back, rift of thy mercy. Then Elohim said to Adam and Eve, Since ye have made this oblation and have offered it to me, I shall make it my flesh when I come down upon earth to save you, and I shall cause it to be offered continually upon an altar for forgiveness and for mercy unto those who partake of his doli. And Elohim sent a bright fire upon the offering of Adam and Eve, and filled it with brightness, grace, and light. And the Holy Spirit came down, the Ruach HaKodesh came down upon that oblation. Then Elohim commanded an angel to take fire tongues like a spoon, and with it to take an offering and bring it to Adam and Eve. And the angel did as Elohim had commanded him, and offered it to them. And when the souls of Adam and Eve were brightened, and their hearts were filled with joy and gladness, and with the praises of Elohim, and Elohim said to Adam, This shall be unto you as a custom to do so when affliction and sorrow come upon you, but your deliverance and your entrance into the garden shall not be until the days are fulfilled as agreed between you and me. Were it not so, I would of my mercy and pity for you bring you back to my garden and to my favor for the sake of the offering you have just made by my name. Adam rejoiced at these words which he heard from Elohim, and he and Eve worshipped before the altar to which they bowed, and then went back to the cave of treasures. And this took place at the end of the 12th day after the 8th day from the time Adam and Eve came out of the garden. And they stood up the whole night praying until morning, and then went out of the cave. Then Adam said to Eve with joy of heart, because of the offering they had made to Elohim, and that had been accepted of him, Let us do this 3 times every week, on the 4th day, Wednesday, on the preparation day, Friday, and on the Shabbat. You see that? On the Shabbat, Saturday, all the days of our life, And as they agreed to these words between themselves, Eliakim was pleased with their thoughts and with their resolution they had each taken with the other. So you see, brothers and sisters, what a beauty when so-called stiff-necked black people, son of Hebrews, say man and woman come together in prayer, in one even yoke, operating on one energy, one purpose, huh? Through the Ruach HaKodesh, through Yahuwah, in Yahushua HaMashiach name. You can do wonders if both male and female come back under the covenant, under the banner of Yahushua and his commandments. But until you decide to do so with your whole heart, mind, and body, brothers and sisters, you shall be destroyed and you shall be plagued and chastised and chastened by these judgment and curses that was prophesied against you in Deuteronomy and across the entire scriptures. Until you come back to the Most High, these curses shall pursue you and overthrow you and destroy you for your stiff-neckedness and lack of respect for the Most High covenant with you, his laws, commandments, and statutes. Okay, brothers and sisters, we are chapter 69. 12th apparition of Hashatan to Adam and Eve while Adam was praying over the offering upon the altar when Hashatan smote him. Then Hashatan, the hater of all good, envious of Adam and of his offering through which he found favor with Eliakim, hastened and took a sharp stone from among sharp iron stones, appeared in the form of a man, and went and stood by Adam and Eve. And Adam was then offering on the altar, and had begun to pray with his hands spread unto Eliakim. Then Hashatan hastened with the sharp iron stone he had with him, and with it pierced Adam on the right side, when flowed blood and water. You see that? The first man Adam, and the second man Adam, which is the Mashiach, Yahushua Mashiach. What happened to the Mashiach, brothers and sisters, when he was crucified on the tree? Right? What did the Roman soldier did unto him, Yashrael? They pierced his side. And what came out of it, brothers and sisters? Water and blood. Let's go to the scriptures to verify this, brothers and sisters. Let's go to the scriptures to verify this. Right? Okay, brothers and sisters, turn your Bible to John 19, right? 31 to 34, 1611 KJV. The Jews, therefore, because it was a preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for that Sabbath day was a high day, besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. Then came the soldiers and brake the legs of the first and of the other which was crucified with him. But when they came to Yahusha and saw that he was dead already, they brake not his legs. Verse 34. But one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side, and forthwith came there out blood and water. And he that saw it bear record on this record is true, that his record is true. And he that saw it bear record, and his record is true. And he knoweth that he said true, that he might believe. For these things were done, that the scripture should be fulfilled. A bone of him shall not be broken. And again another scripture said, they shall look on him whom they pierce. Right? So I went a little further, brothers and sisters. For John 19, 31 to 37. Right? So you see, again, the last book of the Bible, Forgotten Book of Eden, coincide with what the scripture says. And this book clarifies a lot of parables that the scripture spoke about, brothers and sisters. So I urge you to go and get this book. You understand? It's a biblical book. You understand? And it cannot be debunked. Right? Because I have also proven that to you. Right, brothers and sisters? So still on chapter 69, right? Chapter 69. Then, verse 3, then Hashatan hastened with the sharp iron stone he had with him, and with it pierced Adam on the right side, when flowed blood and water. Then Adam fell upon the altar like a corpse, and Hashatan fled. Right? Then Eve came and took Adam and placed him below the altar, and there she stayed weeping over him, while a stream of blood flowed from Adam's side upon his offering. But Elohim looked upon the death of Adam. He then sent his word and raised him up, and said unto him, fulfill thy offering, for indeed, Adam, it is worth much, and there is no shortcoming in it. Elohim said further unto Adam, thus will it also happen to me on the earth, when I shall be pierced, and blood shall flow, blood and water, right, from my side, and run over my body, which is the true offering, and which shall be offered on the altar as a perfect offering. Then Elohim commanded Adam to finish his offering, and when he had ended it, he worshipped before Elohim and praised him for the signs he had shown him. And Elohim healed Adam in one day. You see that? And Elohim healed Adam in one day, which is the end of the 7 weeks, and that is the 50th day. Then Adam and Eve returned from the mountain and went into the cave of treasures, as they were used to do. This complete for Adam and Eve 140 days since their coming out of the garden. Then they both stood up that night and prayed to Elohim. And when it was morning, they went out and went down westward of the cave to the place where their corn was, and there rested under the shadow of a tree, as they were wont. But when there a multitude of beasts came all around them, it was Satan's doing. It was Satan's doing. Right? In his wickedness, in order to wage war against Adam through marriage. You see? He comes through marriage also. That's why it's important for you to come in marriage together, believing and doing the will of the Most High Yahuwah, that when he does attack you, you can come to the Mashiach for guidance, protection through his word, scriptures, through his laws and commandments, brothers and sisters. Because Hashatan do attack marriage, because he doesn't like union. He doesn't like to see the black man and woman together. He doesn't like to see a man and woman together in marriage, because unity is strength. He doesn't like that. That's why this world system today is fighting against the union of man and woman, against marriage, because they are working with the spirit of Hashatan, the Antichrist. Although the Antichrist is not yet revealed, but his spirit is on the earth roaming. You know, and one of his hatred is the union between the black man and woman. And you see that prevalent today in society. With this gender warfare, this is all the doing of the spirit of Hashatan. And you stiff-necked black women keep hearkening to Hashatan, who represent Eve in this time. And the effeminate, weak black man who's supposed to represent Adam is not. But like I said, many of you indulge in these abominable, wicked lifestyle, you and your mixed seed shall be destroyed, and only a remnant of us shall be saved, brothers and sisters. And that's just the way it is. Right? Right, brothers and sisters? Alright, chapter 70. 13 operation of Hashatan to Adam and Eve to make war against him through his marriage with Eve. Right? After this, Hashatan, the hater of all good, took the form of an angel, and with him 2 others, so that they looked like the 3 angels who had brought to Adam gold, incense, and myrrh. They passed before Adam and Eve while they were under the tree and greeted Adam and Eve with fair words that were full of guile. But when Adam and Eve saw their comely mien and heard their sweet speech, Adam rose, welcomed them, and brought them to Eve, and they remained all together. Adam's heart the while being glad, because he thought concerning them that they were the same angel who had brought him gold, incense, and myrrh. Because when they came to Adam the first time, there came upon him from them peace and joy through their bringing him good tokens. So Adam thought that they were come a second time to give him other tokens for him to rejoice withal. For he did not know it was Hashatan. Therefore did he receive them with joy and companied with them. Then Hashatan, the tallest of them, said, Rejoice, O Adam, and be glad. Lo, Elohim has sent us to thee to tell thee some things. And Adam said, What is it? Then Hashatan answered, It is a light thing, yet it is a word of Elohim. Wilt thou hear it from us and do it? But if thou hearest not, we will return to Elohim and tell him that thou wouldest not receive his word. And Hashatan said again, Adam, fear not, neither let a trembling come upon thee. Dost not thou know us? But Adam said, I know you not. Then Hashatan said to him, I am the angel who brought thee gold and took it to the cave. This other one is he who brought the incense, and the third one is he who brought the myrrh. When thou was on the top of the mountain and was carried, and who carried thee to the cave? But as to the other angels, our fellows, who bear you to the cave, Elohim has not sent them with us this time, for he said to us, You suffice. So when Adam heard these words, he believed them and said to these angels, Speak the word of Elohim, that I may receive it. And Hashatan said unto him, Swear and promise me that thou wilt receive it. Then Adam said, I know not how to swear and promise. And Hashatan said to him, Hold out thy hand and put it inside my hand. Then Adam held out his hand and put it into Hashatan's hand. When Hashatan said unto him, Say now, so true as Elohim is living, rational and speaking, who raised the heavens in the space and established the earth upon the waters, and has created me out of four elements and out of the dust of the earth. I will not break my promise nor renounce my word. And Adam swore thus. Then Hashatan said to him, Lo, it is now some time since thou camest out of the garden, and thou knowest neither wickedness nor evil. But now Elohim said to thee, to take Eve who came out of thy side, and to wed her, that she bear thee children, to comfort thee, and to drive from thee trouble and sorrow. Now this thing is not difficult, neither is there any scandal into thee. Right? Let's go a bit further. Verse 71, chapter 71, brothers and sisters. Adam is troubled by his wedding with Eve, right? But when Adam heard these words from Hashatan, he sorrowed much because of his oath and of his promise, and said, Shall I commit adultery with my flesh and my bones? Shall I sin against myself, for Elohim to destroy me and to blot me out from off the face of the earth? Since when at first I ate of the tree, he drove me out of the garden into this strange land, and deprived me of my bright nature, and brought death upon me. If then I should do this, he will cut off my life from the earth, and will cast me into hell, and will plague me there a long time. But Elohim never spoke the word thou hast told me, and ye are not Elohim's angels, nor yet sent from him, but ye are devils, come to me under the false appearance of angels. Away from me, he cursed of Elohim. Then those devils fled from before Adam, and he and Eve arose and returned to the cave of treasures and went into it. Then Adam said to Eve, If thou sawest what I did, tell it not, For I sinned against Elohim in swearing by his great name, and I have placed my hand another time into that of Hashatan. Eve then held her peace as Adam told her. Then Adam arose and spread his hand unto Elohim, beseeching and entreating him with tears to forgive him what he had done. And Adam remained thus standing and praying 40 days and 40 nights. That sound familiar, brothers and sisters? Did not Hamashiach, Yahushua Hamashiach fasted 40 to 40 nights, brothers and sisters, before he began his journey? Huh? Brothers and sisters? He neither ate nor drank until he dropped down upon the earth from hunger and thirst. Then Elohim sent his word unto Adam, who raised him up from where he lay, and said unto him, O Adam, why hast thou sworn by my name? And why hast thou made agreement with Hashatan another time? But Adam wept and said, O Elohim, forgive me, for I did this unwittingly, believing they were Elohim's angels. And Elohim forgave Adam, saying to him, Be aware of Hashatan. And he withdrew his word from Adam. Then Adam's heart was comforted, and he took Eve, and they went out of the cave to make some food for their bodies. But from that day Adam struggled in his mind about his wedding Eve, afraid as he was to do it, lest Elohim should be wroth with him. Then Adam and Eve went to the river of water and sat on the bank as people do when they enjoy themselves. But Hashatan was jealous of them and would destroy them. Alright, brothers and sisters. So this ends the chapter of the first book of Adam and Eve. Right? We're going to continue the series. Right, brothers and sisters. I hope you get something from this and learn the struggles of your forefather Adam and Eve and what they've been through with Hashatan. It's the same thing we're going through right now in this modern age. He's attacking his descendants, his seed. He's trying to prevent you from entering into the kingdom of the Most High. And if you continue to hearken to Hashatan, O Eve, you will go down with him. The same way with you, O Adam. If you continue to hearken to Hashatan and his wickedness, and forsaking laws, commandments, such of the Most High, and forsaking your masculinity and becoming effeminate and acting abominable, you will be destroyed. And you're mixing up your seed with your enemy, your oppressors. You will be destroyed, brothers and sisters. Right? So I urge you to come back to these laws, commandments, and statutes, and come back to his prayers. He taught you how to pray, our Father. Pray to him in spirit and in truth, in Yahushua Mashiach's name, and keep his laws, commandments, and statutes. Shalom.